cut water. Say, last week, UPC. We stopped this operation. You can go back and say, Councilor Mdladlaba stopped you. Because we've said you didn't follow processes.
Councilor, manje ngifuna ukuthi wena usave umsebenzi wethu ne?
Yeah.
Mawungasenzela nje i-video record.
Now I'm showing video. I'm doing a video.
Okay.
I'm doing a video.
Yeah, can you send it?
I can give you numbers. I'm doing a video.
Okay.
That's all. We have said last week, stop these operations of cutting water in our residence. You must follow the process. Oh, you must follow the processes. You must contact the ward councillors. We must call public meetings. Then you can notify the community that you are coming to cut water. But before that, you must educate our community. You must educate our community how to use water. You can't just come and cut water. It's wrong. We've said it last week in our meeting at Sophie Masita. Stop these operations. Stop it. So I'm requesting Joburg Water to come at my office first before they come to my ward and talk to me. Thank you very much.
Politically incorrect. So this channel is about being politically incorrect. So our incorrectness is based on the fact that we are not in the SABC, we are not ENCA, we are not all these major streams that do work with BCCSA, where stuff. But we are, of course, we are controlled by the Americans, and there are certain things that we can say. So the reason I'm stating this is, you know, the leader that you just saw, the councillor that you just saw, that's leadership. It's leadership. So basically, I'm saying you have people coming to do electricity cuts and water cuts in the area of a councillor, and the councillor does not know. I think that guy is just leadership. I wish all ward councillors could do exactly what he does. Stop them. Let them know. Call the MMC, call whoever to say, guys, you can't come to my area and do water cuts and stuff without me knowing. Let's think about, you know, census, where they do door-to-door, do surveys. Just about everything that happens in your democratic area, so what councillor, you should know. How is that helpful? It's helpful in terms of crime. It's helpful in terms of people soliciting bribes from poor communities and stuff. And people would know, the street committees, everyone would know this is a legitimate campaign or program that's coming into that. People who read meters, the councillor must know everything. And so I see people are criticizing this ward councillor. And I hope he's a ward councillor. I don't know his name. I just came across this video and I think this is pure leadership, and I want to applaud him. I don't know what political party comes from, but that is pure leadership, because leadership is taking decisions and standing firm by them, even if they are not popular. But I like that word councillor. Now let's talk about the opposite of that. The executive mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero. Dude has apologized for things that I'm even worried. Why is he even apologizing and backtracking on? Let's just watch him. Let's just watch Dada Morero, then we'll come and talk about this Faro with G20.
Indeed, we are doing our level best. We've prioritized certain routes within Johannesburg, which are G20 routes, to ensure that at least we can make them to be at the standard at which they should be. No potholes, no crisis or traffic signals that are not working. So we are focusing on that. But we are generally focusing on the infrastructure issue, including the water infrastructure. You know the reason why in the last month we didn't have water. We fixed the problem, which was an electricity pump at Ekenhof station. Now Ekenhof is one of the biggest stations in Gauteng. It supplies water right up to Rustenburg, and the entire 60% of Johannesburg relies on Eppenhof substation for them to have water right up to Madibeng. So yes, there was a challenge, but where we are now, we've got water supply throughout Johannesburg. No much challenges, and all the residents are receiving water. But we continue to call on residents, in fact, even the residents of Tshwane, or the entire residents of Gauteng, that they must use water sparingly.
Now, G20, it's a massive thing. And G20 is coming to Jozi in November 2025. The G20, the summit itself, I mean, it's huge. It's magnanimous. I'm even butchering that word wrong. So it's a huge thing. And for people to put pressure on him to apologize for saying he's going to prioritize roads and infrastructure that the G20 people, the guests, are going to use, I find it disingenuous. We South Africans, we complain a lot. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with, in your family, you clean when visitors come? It's an African thing to do, and you can pretend all you like. You just want to grandstand and stuff. And you know, when I'm saying it's our culture, I think it's high time our politicians start telling white people how we live. And our public discourse must not be centered around whiteness. In an African family, we could have cows and chickens and goats, and we don't eat them. But when a visitor comes, as a token of respect, we cut it, we slaughter it for you. It's the best way of welcoming you. And it's an African thing for us to clean and prepare as a token of respect and good gesture to say you are a very important person in our lives, and this is what we prepare for you. And I know people are going to come, yeah, but service delivery must be, hey, we understand that part. You see, this thing of walking on eggshells, if he's not saying he's going to fix only, he's going to prioritize. I'm so disappointed in him and the people who put him under pressure. That man was correct. He needs to prioritize the areas. Go back to 2010. We prioritized areas and we prioritized stadiums that are born. We built a stadium next to another stadium in Polokwane. We've got Peter Mokaba A and Peter Mokaba B. And you tell me that's not prioritizing the World Cup. We prioritized the World Cup because Messi played there in Polokwane. So one could say, why didn't they just revamp the Polokwane Stadium, the actual Polokwane Stadium? Because they needed to meet a certain requirement. And I'm not saying that the other one could not have the Pietersburg Stadium at the time. So all I'm saying is this gestures of working hard to impress visitors, it's not a foreign thing and it's not a bad thing. People want to turn it into a scandal, and they made this man withdraw. Okay, the first withdrawal was he was saying he's going to hire foreigners, something in that line. It didn't even matter. But I think he needed to withdraw based on it could be misconstrued. And you know how much they hate him. They call him a Nigerian. They call him a Nigerian because of his jawbone and his head shape. You know how our people, how Afrophobic they are. So they call him that because when he started, Dada Morero is a full Johannesburg. But they call him that as to deliberately, remind him that your first scandal when you hit office was you wanting to hire foreigners. G20, what are we going to gain from it? What are we going to benefit? Is it worth doing? Well, I don't know. I don't want to go there. It's just one of those. But it's a big event. Of course it is. It's a very big event. later now we want to apply there so we can get our own media accreditation, so we can get there and present our cards and maybe cover you and bring you good stories from those people who are sitting there. Of course, we will not have full access as other people, but we'll try, because it brings an opportunity. G20 is a big thing. It's a big thing. And for Dada Morero to prioritize the G20 over regular streets, it makes sense. And because he says he's prioritizing, he's not saying, I won't deal with others, I'll deal with this. He's prioritizing. It's a good thing. Machine politically incorrect. Tell me what you feel about it. And by the way, that word councillor, I think people who attack him are what Jacob Zuma calls. He calls them what? He calls them clever blacks. Imagine you come back from home, you have not made payment arrangements. You get home, you get the city having disconnected you. Guys, you know, these cities, maybe we need to talk more about these cities, these municipalities. We need to talk about more about what do we call these things, state-owned enterprises and stuff. Those things are not in themselves a profit-generating commodities for the state to milk citizens. No. That's not the original design, and I would be very disappointed if the ANC wants to continue with that line of thought. Those things are not like that. So, for example, the true essence of a municipality is to provide bulk water and have funds to do it, and those funds are for us to pay so they can deliver, but not profit margins, not cutting anything. No. That's the idea, and this is why you hear people even late now they are talking about socialism. You know, it's because we are driving them to socialistic things. I mean, you could imagine, how can a company own water? Water. Why would a company own water? A basic resource. I mean, own other things. Water. Oh, come on, man. You know how many, the amount of, did you hear what Dada Morero says? Dada Morero speaks about Tshwane and struggling with water. I mean, how can you struggle with water? The worst cop-out in the history of the Industrial Revolution is people claiming that water is a scarce resource. I mean, I don't, even if you're a scientist trying to explain that thing to me, it would still not make sense. It will still not make sense. Why would we suffer for water? And you want to tell me that's a natural thing? It's not a natural thing. It's a man-made disaster. People deliberately misuse, people deliberately mismanage and do bad engineering just so there can be a scarcity, so capital can come in. There's no way you can convince me otherwise. And I've listened to many stories trying to understand this issue. Water, get out of here, man. You can't tell me. You know, do you know how it's a rainy season as we speak? In the coasts, in the dams, there's too much water. Fresh water, by the way. South Africa, even when they had lots of money, they never truly invested in desalination plants in the coastal towns. But anyway, let me leave it there. I still don't believe water could be a scarce resource. I'm being honest with you. I still don't believe, but if someone wants to convince me otherwise, you can convince me. It's only scarce because we made it. It's only scarce because we have allowed people to pollute our rivers. It's only scarce because we are doing bad engineering. But water can never be. Water can never be. And by the way, I had a joke that in certain cities, you are even charged to collect the rainwater from your roof into your own JoJo tank. Just imagine. That's just how desperate capital is. Anyway, let me leave it that. But yet politically correct.